Inside this edition of the program inside Parliament. The topic of discussion will be as the Speaker, Honorable Chairman Abass Bundu resign as Speaker of Parliament, who that will succeed him? Well, this is a big question, but we get somebody who is an expert who can help answer this question from your own point of view. And mind you, the view of the guest now the studio not reflect anyway the guest the views of Radio Democracy 98.1. That are the own personal view that one day we just bring up the discussion for make you there out there will get more insight about what things that happen at Parliament and this particular issue we can discuss today thoroughly. And for help me discuss this, I get to me Honorable Muni Ulasana, one a former member of Parliament. You could tell Fambula to join you back on the program.
Yeah, Fambula. Good morning, na the radio land.
Okay, Honorable, continue for those on the program. We go can start the discussion now, so proper one. But before that one, the logo studio too quick and take this issue. Usai for by and now one concerning the come out from different people in the organization and how people don't they make and bring bad drugs them like Kush and other one them come to the country with this particular drug don't kill and unbog the life of plenty people in Salon. And as government continue for put measures them in place for address this problem, the leader of government business na Parliament, Honorable Martinima, don't say the parliamentary leadership they engage now for advise government for declare public health emergency on Kush and other bad drugs them. And talk this now the well of Parliament before His Excellency the President they make this pronouncement also even declare state of emergency on Kush. But make we go back and reflect and see how that call lay been all water and how it will look like now the well of Parliament during that time. I've been in Parliament and put these reports together.
Mr. Speaker, my motion is we summon the leadership of Sierra Leone Port Authority, the leadership of NRA, the leadership of the Sierra Leone Police, and by extension the CMO, Chief Medical Officer.
The Deputy Leader of Government Business na Parliament, Honorable Bashiru Siliki, they move motion for make Parliament go summon the leadership na the Salon Police, the National Revenue Authority, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and other ministry departments and agencies them. For can explain to Parliament on the 18th of March this year about what they do for pull come out the Kush drug na the country. And this motion na one way member of Parliament them being grieved for. But why the specific body here? Honorable Bashiru Siliki explained.
We also summon NRA because when these containers come at the key, they are open. How do they sneak with this question to the police? They should come and explain to us. The police, the IG, and top management of the police should come and explain to us. Because all over this place, there are food centers.
It's been so openly now.
Yes, it's open all over. And you see the police officers sometimes seated in these areas. So, Mr. Speaker, we have said it times without number this well. Now we should summon them. They should come explain to us. They are representatives of the people.
After this position from the Deputy Leader of Government Business, Honorable Bashiru Siliki, the Leader of Government Business, Honorable Matisha Numa, be also suggested Parliament engage with the government for declare a state of emergency on Kush and other bad drugs them.
Mr. Speaker, we should now graduate from making talk shop and ask a question to now call on the government that we should now talk about the public health emergency. Because the way our youth are going, they are going in the direction that we want. So if you take action now, as I said, the activists will come to talk about human rights. But when you trigger a state of emergency, the public health emergency, you will now see that people have the right to maybe arrest you on site because the regulations are coming that arrest them, prosecute them, speedy trial, jail them, sentence them. So we agree on sentencing. So, Mr. Speaker, I join my colleagues to say I perfectly agree that we do engagement, but I want us to move beyond engagement. I have triggered it that government should now thinking about public health emergency in line with this push. It's a bipartisan approach I want us to use.
When safe the talk, one member of Parliament from Cambia District under the All People's Congress APC party, Honorable Abdul Karim Kamara, believes say the decision for someone ministry department and agencies and the right step in the right direction, more especially time like this, where plenty young people don't die and Kush drug.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday I was around Egan Street going towards the Mambila area. In my presence, 7 young people within the age of 19 to 21 were taken out of the market as cops as a result of the dangerous Kush. And as I speak, there are more that are struggling down those communities as a result of Kush. And yesterday I learned that it's not just Kush now, it is called Jagaban Kush. This shows how dangerous this is.
After we Parliament, we don't agree for them 2 different points here. We one, now for some ministry, department and agencies them on Monday, and self later after that push or make government declare a state of emergency on illegal drugs them. The acting Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Singapore Solomon Thomas, then get this quick advice from Member of Parliament them.
Honorable members, let me warn you, please, let's be extremely careful. Because from what I've heard, people say that sometimes these drugs are administered even without your notice. Guard your drinks, guard your food. Because as members of Parliament, of course, we are the most wanted. Somebody might want to make fun of you. Somebody might want to make fun of you unless your drinks or your food with this substance. Because they want to make fun of you.
During this debate on what government for do for CC they able for address the kind way how Kush they affect plenty people, more especially the young one them. Different member of parliament them been pinned on the point for CC government do all the things possible for stop the importation and processing of the drugs here soon at the country, as na that na the only way them believe say Kush go come out na the country. This parliamentary sitting don't be adjourned to Tuesday, 19 March 2024 for the Society for Radio Democracy. Me, Nacheng Nojalo. Report. Welcome back to the program inside Parliament where they come to you from the Society for Democracy 98.1 FM. Well, and a report will bring some time back inside February before President Bill declare state of emergency on Kush, and this now because member of Parliament have been thinking the reach time for make President make that proclamation the way then self been start for make that call and we've been get for bring that insert there for make we see how far we don't come out. Usai Parliament self don't they put them foot down for CC this issue has to be solved after we President we don't declare the state of emergency on Kush. We see also the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Mohamed Lamin Tawali been table one proclamation where President will be make we get for do with the public health emergency on Kush and other substance abuse them. But this proclamation with the member of we been table now member of Parliament and not being agreed for debate because according to the leader of government, business and parliament, Honorable Matisa Numa, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Mohamed Lamin Tarawali, not been go with the regulations for work with the public health emergency we even table. For more on this, I will also report. But 2 weeks back, President Bill been declared public health emergency on Kush and other bad drugs them in the country. But to make this emergency go good one, Parliament need for grief for Now for sake of this, make this be the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Mohamed Lamin Tarawali, being go table the proclamation with President Bill make now the well of Parliament. But as soon as the Attorney General and Minister of Justice been table this proclamation, member of Parliament not be able for debate because according to the leader of government business na Parliament, Honorable Matisa Numa, the aging office supposed to bring regulations and where Parliament will look inside altogether.
We don't want people to misuse the public emergency. Deliberately, we want to draw the attention of Mr. Minister. 5 is important to us. And how much I've got support from our colleagues on the other side, we don't want people to misuse the public emergency. So we must be guided, as we did for the corona, as we did for the Ebola. For the good of governance, we draw the minister's attention to 29.5 that has to do with the regulations in terms of public emergency, especially when some people claim.
After this point, Honorable Matisa Numa being go before for ask the AG, but why not bring the regulations them? And this now with Mohamed Lamin Tarawali, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, being get for say.
Mr. Speaker, before now, when the COVID regulation was passed by this House, we anticipated incidents of this nature that in the future, should anything happen, it will save us time to make laws and regulations ahead rather than wait until the time when the incident has happened that will delay the entire process. Mr. Speaker, save for your direction if there are to be any other further regulations. But in my mind, there are regulations already, particularly so deal with the national drugs for arrest and seizure.
As the AG, the Gide reason yaso, but why not bring regulations then for work with the emergency? The reason yaso na one way Honorable Dane Kroma, Deputy Leader of Opposition, say no in place.
I don't think it is expedient to use regulation made pursuant to an act of Parliament for a particular institution to operate, to give effect to the operation of a particular institution, to use that one as regulation for state of emergency. They are different. And we should not be lazy. If we are declaring state of emergency, there has to be regulations based on the particular purport of that state of emergency, the reasons for that state of emergency. We cannot import regulations. The details are different. That is one. Then secondly, every state of emergency, each case, you must have tribunal before operation of the state of emergency. At the same time, the regulation should have been in place by now.
Inside Young Talk, the acting Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Sengepo Solomon Thomas, encouraged the AG office for bringing the regulation there also, as in talk about how important them be and the fight against the Kush drug.
You can operate under the public health emergency, but due process must be followed. So I urge you to do your own regulations, given the necessary powers to effect the state of emergency. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Because if you're under the public health emergency, if you arrest somebody, then it has to take the required time. If you arrest somebody, let's say 3 days, that person has to come to court and so on and so forth. You can't just go into people's premises to do certain things. But under the state of emergency, with relevant regulations, then this due process might be eased so that the operations can be very effective.
After this point, from the acting Speaker of Parliament, different other member of Parliament them been get the opportunity for say something on this issue, and plenty of them been support the idea for bringing the regulations them na Parliament. This sitting will be adjourned to Tuesday, April 16, 2024, for the Society for Radio Democracy. Me, Nacheng Nojalo. Welcome back to the program Inside Parliament, where they come to you again from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Well, we just want to bring we listeners them up to speed with regards to the insert we just play. So I want to inform listeners out there, say, inside the Thursday sitting of Parliament, we happened some days back. The AG been bringing the regulations them na Parliament, where Parliament will look inside them now. Away from that one, they will come to studio guest, Honorable Abdul Munir Ulasana. We don't listen to the different reports them we don't play from the way the state of emergency now we don't declare it onto the time and declare until to the time the AG go the proclamation of Parliament, but no go the regulations until to the time now we don't go the regulations in Parliament. What are you taking all of this?
Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks for making me be here, because one thing where they really happen now the fact that every country for they be successfully operated need for they under laws and order, and for they then law and order then they take effect. Parliament now get the anus, now get the strength, now get the ability for make sure see whatever they happen go within the confines of the law. Now make even when the executive arm of government go for international conferences, international issues, whatever they do, they must come and try for domesticate them into we own law before it become applicable now we own law. So now make if president make any pronouncement, that pronouncement they get for come to Parliament look into them and see say yes, this is good for we people. So once the president make that proclamation, they wait to happen. When they call the proclamation supposed for carry with what we call the bylaws, because they not go want lay you use excessive power. They not go want lay you go when they don't pass the proclamation, because the proclamation is like giving a mandate say go operate. And if then give that mandate say go operate, then the bylaws the way they give that guiding principles for go operate, not they waiting they happy they go formulate bylaws they on your own, where at the end of the day go be detrimental to the very people where Parliament they represent. And because Parliament no one let them kind thing and they happen, I make each time then kind opportunity then they come, they make sure say they all two come together. If they all two not come together, they're not going able to pass the proclamation at all. So now that will be see where Parliament do. Now make when the Attorney General come with that particular proclamation and the Parliament say no, you need to go back na the drawing board, make the bylaws and bring them together so that we go able to do the all two together, where we now will serve as a watchdog, because Parliament is serve as a watchdog in what we call oversight, for make sure say once we don't pass the regulations, then the executive arm of government, say we get the police where now they normally can try for implement then law and they based on the small power we then get for letting not go misuse them. But once the bylaw then they waiting go happen, then rules then they can follow up, then bylaws then they can follow up, then Parliament can now serve as a checkmate for make sure say how did they go with them, how did they implement them, go according to how the law stipulates and according to how the bylaws the way they state exactly.
For somebody who just listen, you don't make mention of the criteria as for make a state of emergency take place in a country, but here and there somebody go here state of emergency. We see where the Kush come and declare, and the the coronavirus and that one the Ebola we have been come and so many other issues, and they even to the some point in time we president will declare state of emergency on sexual penetration, child abuse, and then other stuff. Then they what that state of emergency?
Yes, what was the state of emergency? Now a situation where the executive arm of government they see say we don't dey in an extraordinary situation where if we say we dey go strict to censor, where Englishman say strict to censor, then I for go by waiting at the prescribed regulations the way they na the constitution. You know, say constitution for example get what we call the fundamental human right, where them fundamental human the right they na a lay down principle where they guide and govern every citizens within a country. But when the law they operate, all of them fundamental human rights therefore be looked into with no deviation from any. Now for instance, if we talk about your right to life, continue for be stable, continue for be fervent as long as the country move in that normal situation. But under state of emergency, what's in the happen, the government or the president they get a power for act once the proclamation is made and has been approved by parliament. The executive arm of government they get the power for act, and that power they for act now for make sure say the way where they go, they not go like every minute come back to parliament for approval, every minute come back, because parliament already get the law where now the 1991 constitution where now they govern the entire country. But with the state of emergency, if somebody want to know it in a state of emergency, now like an extra power where they give to government for able to do thing them where you know when they come every minute to parliament. For instance, like we say state of emergency on waiting on sexual offenses. That if you look for instance under sexual offenses, they tell you say where person commits sexual offense, they go for go to police go for take statement, all the procedures where now the rule of law procedure go for go accordingly. But once it becomes state of emergency, what thing they happen? Then they say, okay, you before you left na society, let follow all them process there. I can't force can there. Now when they make a state of emergency, they go say anybody will rape una not get bail again. So you don't see. So what thing don't happen? That you fundamental human rights, or you right to bail, you right to waiting, and they don't close force, because then normally you go back to society and become more menace. So now that's exactly the constitution make room for that state of emergency, like where we don't see so now under the COVID, the Kush as an institution when at the agency, the moment the new government begin, that is when them give President Bio the second term, what thing may happen? We will get Kush as a center of attention where be the portrait na the minds and hearts of everybody. We begin see we youth man them. So the agency when I be the National Drugs and Law Enforcement Agency begin create what we call public awareness, because though people be already talk about them, but it not be that widely spread. But with the advent of the executive director, when Chief Anuja Kaikai, what he begin do? He begin going to the bomb there, begin going to the slums there, begin going to the ghettos them. And one thing where he fights for do very clearly now the fact that it changed the lexeme. What we say lexeme in English now, like the word where people have been use for describe the one that they smoke. Then they call them waiting perpetrators, because when police go, they arrest you where they smoke, they arrest who that they sell, but most times what will be they see now the one they be the smoke that they arrest more. So the executive director try for persuade government and then change that lexeme date from waiting we call perpetrators to victims. If the Paremba road issue not be happening, then we don't even look at a way where them want take them one and they all of them be arrested in relation to drug related matters, for take them na a center where they do it to call counseling and rehabilitation. But then they can happen. But what can happen with the formation of government on what we call multi-sectoral approach, so them bring out all other ministry like social welfare, Ministry of Information, then bring them all together and say, you know what, in as much as the agency don't champion this, let we also join them and go back to these communities and do well educated information where we able to identify people and where they be there in critical need of assistance. Some man medical assistance, some man psychiatric assistance. So waiting and do then create a home at Aston and that establishment day of that home day, because wetin make that happen, I just dey try for lay the foundation, wetin dey preempt a government for declare a state of emergency. Because state of emergency, you no just can't tell government say declare am. We dey look at wetin we call the statistics for show, where they show say yes, this if una no stop am at day 1 na so e dey go up, at day 2 na so e dey go up, at 1 week na so e dey go up, at 2 weeks na so e dey go up. So if you no able give government then strata dem dey as to wetin dey determine the factors the way they preempt for lay government say okay, you know what, if we could not put a stop on this by dedicating all our resources, our focus, our attention to it, by the time we realize what will happen, it will have aggravated to something else. So once we able to give them data, then the continuous burials of youth, the continuous gathering of dead bodies along the street, that begins send attention. The figure begins show say yes, if government no make a proclamation now, it will become a problem.
Government so that proclamation through the president in statement, yes. I think it was April 4 this year. Yeah, so the AG don't take them proclamation in a parliament, but socially on the feel for good regulations and later good regulations and now you don't table regulations them. All of this important in the fight against Kush because now parliament not good for and totally yet. They don't table the regulations.
Yes, you know, agree for and totally it because, like what I say, Parliament does not just pass laws. Then go for look into them and see say whatever law then pass not become an effect to the citizens where they go implement them. Because like what I say, then bylaws then they go in conformity with the fundamental human right of every citizen. For instance, you know go say because you don't go catch post in the smoke. You don't look at in other human rights them, you just take them, you go put on a tight place or whatever. So now when then law then they come, for instance, you see then send and force, say because the bylaws they not the regulations they not the now waiting to happen, they don't count now with the regulation. And a Thursday way pass so then they count them. And waiting they do now, they need the time for able to look at the regulations for say yes, then regulation they are go in conformity with the fundamental human rights.
So for the purpose of clarity, are we in a state of emergency on public health and substance abuse?
The proclamation has been made.
So are we in it?
In as much as Parliament no make it, it not become a full effective. Now until Parliament pass them before it becomes fully effective.
So in all of this, how important this particular step by government, if Parliament agree for and fully become effective, important and effect? Quick one.
It's very, very important because like what we say, once government don't proclaim something, we go to call diversion of resources to that particular area there. If government not proclaim, you know say government get different stratas. We say stratas, different ministries. But once government don't proclaim, say this don't become an emergency issue, waiting to happen. All the ministry they are, for instance, the budget they don't put for them, then go begin pinch and a half for pay more attention to this particular one. For instance, the Ministry of Agriculture not go ever succeed if we youth man then continue for the go and sleep na treat, because we need the active youth man and they for waiting for can do better farming. So now make at the end of the day waiting to happen with the state of emergency and the approval na parliament once it is cleared. This now they make all the resources then they be focused for make sure say that thing where they call Kush become something of the past.
As somebody been in a parliament and now this thing in a parliament, what are the expectations for member of parliament now that the Attorney General don't count all of what they be request for?
Yes, me expectation where are they give or ask them for do now the fact that them regulations then they for they in conformity with the rule of law, and if we go in line with the fundamental principles of human rights. Remember, we get on a yearly basis assessment where they happen on human rights and all other sectors them as a nation. So we not go and see where they fall below waiting we don't already achieve, because for the past 5 years we don't score very high score in the protection and prevention of human rights. So their regulation and they expect the MP them for look at and well and make sure say whatever they do within, let them do one within the confines of the law, so that once it go out for implementation, people are not going to begin misuse them and begin act excessively beyond within the regulations give them as power.
Continue for those on the program. Honorable Abdul Muniru Lasana, we the program for Kaipu discuss, but several things we they happen at Parliament, and we they goes to the two quick again and take this issue. Remember, the Parliament, the program inside Parliament, na program we they bring up to speed. We listeners and but what's in the happen at Parliament. So go watch what's in the happen inside the Tuesday parliamentary sitting, inside the acting Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Singapore Solomon Thomas. Don't say Parliament to set up a committee. Now we go make up of all the leaders them at Parliament and invite the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education for go explain to Parliament or what now the issue we make some more students them don't they allege say why no register them for this year was exam. This being at the well of Parliament, so a member of Parliament they made agree for make the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education appear before Parliament on the Thursday sitting. For more on this, I will now report. The Tuesday, April 16, 2024 parliamentary sitting na one way plenty people, more especially school picking and school administrators them, be witness as this get for do concern where they be raised where parliament they look inside now. And this get for do with was candidates them where people allege say no get for sit this year was because of certain reason them. Inside this sitting, after a member of Parliament them don't raise concern about this issue, the acting Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Singapore Solomon Thomas, they say after the last sitting, they don't ask the Committee on Basic Education for investigate this issue and bring a report to Parliament. But this in point, now one way, one member of Parliament from Cambia District, Honorable Abdul Karim Kamara, not agree for because in say that's all go delay the issue go make the students them unable for meet up the time for the exam. So in say issue like this now no Parliament for take serious.
Mr. Speaker, why are we here comfortably sitting as members of Parliament? It's because the principals of those schools that have been deprived of taking these exams have not come out public to tell the kids who are to take these exams that they are not taking their exams. They're still giving hope to the parents that their kids will take the exam, and they highly depend on us as leaders to resolve this matter.
He continues say all other ministers and before now don't they get similar case them like this, but say with the help of Parliament they're able for come in and solve them quick one as in say now only this time Parliament don't they get issue for address this kind of case.
So the issue proper, I told the nation that 150,000 kids are committed. Mr. Speaker, what the ministry put out on the criteria the schools to follow before they submit entries for their kids. And in this notice, there is nothing that talks about caste. And this was done after WAEC has had principles for caste. So if caste was a prerequisite for the exams, it should have been captured in that notice from the Ministry of Education.
As Honorable AKK they continue say the fault they from the ministry side because they not inform the school authorities the proper one. This make the acting Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Singapore Solomon Thomas say Parliament for invite the Minister of Basic Education on Thursday for cancel Parliament but the ministry position.
The leaders on both sides of the aisle should form a committee and invite the minister and the relevant stakeholders. Not in committee room 1, but in the Speaker's conference room, classified meeting where this matter can be discussed exhaustively. Let's invite the minister to be here on Thursday.
Thank you very much.
Can we find a way around it?
After this member of Parliament then being for make this action take place, and as all this they be, Parliament don't also agree for the anti-money laundering and combating of financing terrorism and financing the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction Act of 2024. And same way so inside parliamentary issues them, the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Abass Bundu, don't resign from his speaker position for the Society for Radio Democracy. Me, na Chengno Jalo. The report. Welcome back to the program Inside Parliament, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Inside Parliament, now a program where they come to you from this frequency now broadcasting house in New Englandville. Inside Frito, where they give updates about what thing they happen at the well of Parliament. So you then also not get a chance for witness some of the sittings them or debates them where they happen at Parliament. You will get a clear insight of voting. You get representative when a member of Parliament don't they do at the well of Parliament so far or or other parliamentary issues. I bring you back to the program inside Parliament, and we come to the discussion of today's young program where, as the Speaker, Dr. Abass Bundu resign as Speaker of Parliament. Would I go succeed now the discussion for today's young program, and for help me discuss this, I get to me Honorable Muni last and I win a former member of Parliament. Isn't that the program for can tell me more about your own take, and mind you, the point or the view of Honorable Muni Ulasan, I know they reflect the views of Radio Democracy as we just set the platform for make it go come talk about what's in your own take, and any other person self will want for talk on issues like this will get the opportunity for kind of the program and talk on them. But the views of them people and will reflect the views of Radio Democracy. I can't say again, Honorable. The 16th of April this year, we see a press release will come out from State House to say President Bill accept the resignation of Honorable Abass Bundu as Speaker of Parliament. When you see this, what in first can I mind?
Yeah, what in can I mind now that a vacancy don't be created, because when you look at the provision where section 79 to section 80 and all its subsections and provides to them, it make clear the office of the Speaker and that of the Deputy Speaker. And one thing where the Constitution make very clear now how important the office of the Speakership dey. Waiting the office of the Speakership try for say now that the moment Parliament one begin, now the office done the way then for even put post in the force before even the one the way they become member of Parliament take oath. So you see how important that particular office is there. It tell you say the person for the force before the one the way for take the oath as members of Parliament take oath. So you begin see like just like what in the Bible say, it say forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. What did that they try for say? You an MP will not even take oath for become a full-time MP, don't already get power and mandate for elect force the Speaker. So once I see say Abass Bundu don't tender a resignation, I begin look at the power struggle we go for come into existence. Because one thing about Parliament, we're going to call senior members of Parliament. Senior members of Parliament are like the one that don't go 2 term, 3 term, because seniority always they just feel like when we say the court of law. Inside the court of law, lawyers them always get respect for who that don't become a lawyer before them. Because if you go na court now, you then call it to the bar in 2020. That man will then call to the bar in 2021. If it matter then at that very chamber day, the moment it reach, I don't say if you don't in operation now, but if you're not in operation, once the magistrate or judge they call, now in you matter they call up. So that they show the seniority. So when it comes to Parliament as well, we get an established seniority thought, which you always they in order like a law, but it has becomes like a norm where always they happen. So Abass Bundu resignation don't become like a worrisome moment, because senior members of Parliament they don't begin show interest. Members of Parliament where them blood not even begin soak fine it, don't begin show interest. So in a situation like this, because nobody be the foresee this kind particular thing, because what can normally happen would expect okay na die, or when Parliament they start a fresh term, they not bring her again, then bring her a new one. So na then kind situation and they happen. But in this particular situation, we see an MP resign. If even you look at waiting the room make for section 79 to 80, you see certain clause they are not even dead for sure say resignation. Though yes, we know say resignation until we can come up, because like for the office of the president, then put on day, the office of the honorable members and put on day. But when you go to the office of the speaker, they're not even put on day, because they say no person shall be elected as speaker if he is a member of an armed forces, or if he is a member or a deputy minister. Now they say the speaker shall vacate his office if he becomes a minister or deputy minister, or if any circumstances arise that if he were not the speaker, he will disqualify him from election as speaker, or when Parliament meets for the first time. You see, now then a thing a day, or the last one in subsection 4, you say if he is removed from office by a resolution of Parliament. You know, say we go to call professional misconduct. Professional misconduct, the parliamentarian then can look at and say, you know what, this action of we speaker no longer valid for like continue for serve as with speaker. So then go pass a resolution and that will remove him, especially when the resolution gets a 2/3 majority for removal. But the provision don't even make room for resignation or death. But we know say these are applicable norms.
Okay.
We normally can create vacancy.
You just don't talk about the process for make a speaker vacating seat.
Yeah.
You don't highlight difference in the constitution. We they talk about that one day. Somebody will listen now. Quick one go say what are the process for make somebody assume your office as a speaker?
Yes, for let somebody become a speaker, section 79 make can clear. Because section 79 subsection 1 say the speaker of parliament shall be elected. You see, because now an election they take place, and when the election they take place, it will be a 2/3 majority. It will only become a simple majority after they don't go 1-2, they never get 2/3 majority at all. What did they do? They do a simple majority. So for let somebody become a speaker, one, it has to be to an election. If there is no election, there will be no speakership. And before you even come up, because now that side most people are not can know how you come up for become a speaker. It can be throughout a resolution backstage. You say people they don't agree, party level they don't agree. Say now this policy how they put for this particular election where they come. Now when they don't agree on that, if they don't agree on that, automatically you not go become. Before this time, will be they see retired judges or even active judges, then they become like speakers. Until of late we will begin see members of parliament they come up, though the constitution they don't make room. So for let you become a member of parliament, then go for elect you after a resolution where don't table you for become like one of the candidates the way for even contest.
So quick one, since this thing has so happened, don't you names them where they come up from the Silent People's Party part. Some man they say this, some man they say that, some man they say that one. They just call names them to themselves. The APC self can send person for stand for the speakership as things stands now.
Well, like normally we can look at and say by what we call common sense. Now the party will get the highest number of seats. Now them can
the constitution
present, now they can present speakership.
Now so the constitution say
in all like speculate spelled out clearly, but like what I say, it's a norm for say now so it can normally one for happen, but it not by any law we say now so it for happen, because we get for go by waiting the constitution make very clear. And somebody will want to know how somebody they become a speaker and vacate the seat of speakership, you go read section 79 and section 80 with all the subsections and the provides so that you go know that clearly. But by norms where it becomes a practice, because what to make I want make this very very clear that for let people understand. Say like for instance in 2018 we brought our APC and they say now we get majority, so now we forget the speakership. What to make them thought then they come now, because they take and say if una go by election, because you know say for let somebody become a speaker and go for go through waiting an election. So with all indication you will get the majority, now you will get likely the speaker. So APC began that thought say we get the majority, so now we will get the speaker, because if you go the first 2 rounds where you not get the 2/3, the next rounds go for be waiting simple majority, and if you go simple majority waiting they happen, now you no more go forget the speakership.
So is that the same party possibly 2-3 people show interest for the position?
Yes, it possible plenty people show interest. Now make we go to call consensus. That consensus they now make like they nurture una be and say no, you know what, for the interest of the party, if we all go waiting they happen, we vote they be divided, because everybody when they come up from within the same party go get your support base. And once that happen, low assume say another candidate comes from the other party, that candidate they all go rally beyond one person, that person they go emerge as a winner if they don't get the 2/3 majority and it becomes a simple majority. So now I make normally by resolution and what we call backstage arrangement, then can agree say you know what, let's present somebody who we all will rally.
Yes, you foresee that one day for happen this time around.
Yes, I foresee that for happen, because one thing where they happen presently in a parliament now we quest for power, because man by nature is an ambitious being, and with common sense where can happen normally. Sengepo Thomas they serve now almost for the second term as waiting as a deputy speaker. So everybody go look at and say common sense go and make a waiting him become the speaker. But at the same time, common sense back go look at and say okay, we get this very good intelligent man winner Tunis where we don't go serve as an ECOWAS speaker. Now, if he come out ECOWAS Parliament, he come back. Unagowale he can become an ordinary member of Parliament. Somebody go say, you know what? Why we not go put him? Let him be the head so that he not go become ordinary member. So all them thoughts then they go to roam around the minds of parliamentarians and now for make sure say they do waiting exactly. But like what I say, it's about the quest for power. In the quest for power, everybody go get interest. For instance, if you go now in a parliament, you go see Honorable Veronica will say I'm the most senior member of parliament, and considering the presidential proclamation or parliamentary bill we don't pass, we forgive gender parity to women and for empower women there. This time a time, and we don't even see one time where he preside over in parliament where the speaker and deputy not be there, and that be even happen more than one time. So them kind anxiety and their eagerness then they don't make anybody feel say yes I can do it, I can deliver if I'm given this opportunity. So you begin see them kind of quest for power then they now within the house when I normally they happen now, and some even a younger member of parliament where they do the second term for the first time don't begin show face. If you follow social media, you see them kind of thing then they come up, and these are things that are happening. But like what I say, for common sense, two issues are at play. One, Sengepo Thomas, who was served as what a deputy from first 5 years and the sixth parliament now. You will look at Asebo in all indicator as it can happen in other offices. The deputy for just go up, defend another deputy for them will go come from a member of parliament. Then at the same time, this very common sense go look at and say Tunis don't go serve as waiting an ECOWAS member of parliament, where now one of the biggest stratas in terms of Africa parliament. How you go look at that kind of person there? It come back where in time done as it don't close parliament and the new section of ECOWAS parliament open, so it can become an ordinary member of parliament for the remaining 4 years. So all these are the common sense that will now be playing in the mind.
You know, member of the Silent People's Party, all of the one you don't mention on the members, you think say more at stake?
Yes, more they at stake. So now we call on the party leadership now for before they come for this particular election, let them begin consider and say that. Just like what I tell you, I don't bring come two common sense scenarios. The first one, everybody is looking at Sengepo Thomas, who has served for 5 years and is now serving the other sixth parliament as a deputy speaker, where by common sense you will say no, now for be now the full speaker. And at the same time, ECOWAS speaker when Tunis don't go serve, you go once lay come back and consider them as an ordinary member of parliament. So all these are the issues. So as a party, we need for grab fast. We come at the round table as it be happen during the days of Matthew Numa, because when Tunis be go as ECOWAS speaker, the office of the leadership of parliament be empty, what they call the leader of government business. So what thing be happen? The party be swift enough for able to appoint Matthew Numa for become the leader of government business, where automatically be bringing Bashiru Siliki for become the deputy leader of government business. So in that kind of situation, in the we want lay then come up with again very fast before the election they happen. Lay we able present somebody where at the end of the day the votes not go be divided into campism.
If all of them people also don't make mention of the party come and say okay, they give this person, maybe other people and say no, they all decide for go for the election. What they mean? Like
what they say, we get 77K now with constitution, where the people wait for make this decision are coming from a party symbol, and 77K they for guide you regulations as to whether you for follow the dictates of the party, especially in issues like this where not to any general issue way relating to country. Because one thing what you always make clear now the fact that 77K they become only effective where the interest where you effect for, it's not the interest of the people. Because if you effect for the interest of the people, which is a paramount interest, party interest for become undermining to that one. But if now any interest when a party interest, you got to support the party interest. So in issue like this, we look at them being a party interest and not that of the country's interest. So in that situation, the party for able come out quick, call the one they already should face. So now they able get a resolution on it.
Make I take it quick to the press release. Usai President Bibi accepts the retirement of Honorable Dr. Abass Bundu as Speaker of Parliament. I take it to the fourth paragraph. Usai is Dr. Abass Bundu has retired on health/medical grounds and his decision is effective April 30, 2024. That one day on the medical grounds, other people get the opinion say or the view say he was forced to resign.
Like what they say, when you follow what's in the happen in parliament, of late within this first 9 months, a lot of things has been unfolded because we get the Paran saga, we back and forth statement and the common say speaker say this, speaker say that, Paran say this, Paran say that. Then we don't come to the Mohamed Bangura saga where people they look at and say speaker they undermine the existence of the party. So all the issues then they as an old man, I know they say that make you resign, but as an old man who wants to see his ending very relaxing, very refreshing, as somebody who has worked millions of loans that will be enjoying that one, and not go and see who say somebody and just a quick riotous business who can't hit them and back we go get a very good collapse. So I believe say them kind of thoughts then they around waiting be the happen in parliament. Like what I say, I don't bring in the scenarios from where clerking issue come. You clerking issue become as a result of a parliamentary discussion when at the leadership, whether we say retirement or no retirement, redundancy or no redundancy. At the end of the day, we see speaker come under and say no, may not be aware, and their issue and they be get back and forth stay to Paran in where issue come up where it don't go on suspension. Then speaker be done did now the act and with the internal rumor they say speaker they say if Paran kind they resign blah blah blah. So maybe you don't even get a clue say Paran is coming, so now make it don't resign. Like I said, it's just a thought around the line of waiting people in the field. At the same time, like what I say, Mohamed Bangura issue come up again. Like what they say, another stroke that breaks the camel's back. When they look at and say Mohamed Bangura was this APC parliamentarian who, when SNPP they look for somebody for be on the other side of the aisle, Mohamed Bangura came in. He was appointed a member of the ECOWAS parliament. Then now with the house don't normalize, they don't pull and everybody they say speaker who has the mandate to sign short a letter and I don't sign them. All them hate that then they as an old man, you know go and see how it play on them. So waiting they happen. I believe saying that make you don't tender resignation.
If the scenario they believe so now the exact case, what in that one they mean? It think say this if thing like this they be, then they go give people the urge for take up them positions. If they don't see the pressure they come out.
Well, like if thing like this they be, enough good for with democracy. Because like what I say, everything get what we call the due processes of the law. And if somebody they follow the due processes of the law, I believe say we get for support them to the latter. Because that's now in the give way to call a good democratic society. Enough will always be in your interest. It will be at the national interest. And if things they go at the national interest, we not for look at them on the party basis. We not for look at at an individual basis. Like we at the listing one popular speaker from Kenya, where that guy we can talk them popular statement there. He said waiting. He said when corruption favors you, you don't call it corruption. You call it a lock. Because you take and say now you know what you enjoy. But when it go against you, then it becomes corruption. And with the student situation they happen. We don't see, for instance, who say anti-corruption go catch 8 billion na people in hand. Waiting to happen with the people them. Today we don't know whether na sack them or waiting, or them people and they still in the office. The one day they investigate, so now when a journalist them, maybe we go investigate and tell we. But in real sense, somebody who don't thief 8 billion plus 100 of million. Then can people end for in office? It's just like become threats to the economy again.
So again, you know, somebody who could be speaker, Dr. Abass Bundu, inside the 5th Parliament, I think when I work for 5 years. What are that one thing you go say about speaker?
One thing I go say about speaker, he has always been in control. One thing I go say about speaker, he's that man who is knowledgeable of what he does. Because any side you take him, he get a knowledge over it. He is that versatile man. When he sit down in that seat, he go to look at una as if he doesn't know what is happening, but he's widely read. Even when una they exchange messages in a group, he can always talk in the phone. He say, I dey go through all una message them. What sit down na me back up na morning for take me back. He say na there they don't force. I go through all una messages them. So when I come to parliament, he say I'm aware of everything that is happening within the world. So he's that man who is meticulous of everything where he do. So I always respect him for that. And considering the way the last parliament be there, had it not been somebody like Dr. Abass Bundu, it would have been difficult for the operation of government.
Effective April 30, in resignation they become effective. We mean say the party for go back and choose person, and being the fact they don't talk this guy way, but the speaker way is seen as somebody very intelligent in all aspects. So far, we make the process of parliamentary issues they go smooth under a leadership. What I call to the party in terms of choosing somebody, we not based on political party interest, but somebody who can steer the ship well at parliament.
Like what they say, you in this type of a question, you don't put me in two opposing hills, because what you make us say so, I don't work with Sengepo Thomas, I don't work with Tunis, whether the two names the way they fly. Tunis being a leader of government business has been that soft character way. The moment you sit down before him, no matter your anger is over. At the same time, Singapore has been that hard rock who is very difficult to crack. Whether they follow the proceedings of parliament, you see say most of the complex bills where we pass within the wells of parliament, na Singapore they preside. So that tells you he's a no-nonsense man. So in that situation, I go invite the party, let them put them together, let them able get a resolution as to who takes the fault.
Okay, plenty thank you to you, Honorable Abdulmuni Lasana for your January program. Today for can discuss the fate of the next speaker in a parliament after Honorable Abass Bundu resign from the speakership position, and self before that they will talk about different other issues them way be happen at the well of parliament this being term. And again, make a remind listeners as we wrap up the program, say the views of Honorable, also the views of Radio Democracy. And with that one day I will say plenty thank you for your January program to Honorable Muni Lasana, and self plenty thank you to my technical supporter DJ School First and Fatimata Samuel. Make family before actual live on our Facebook page. So meet again, we present this program can to you. Me name na Cheng Nojalo the system.